Hello, my friends, and welcome to the True. I'm Robert Wallace. This is the place where we ask, am I choosing the way of Jesus, or am I choosing my own way? I hope you took time to read 1 Samuel chapter 1 in preparation for today. We see that Hannah is married to Elkanah, and he is also married to Peninnah. Hannah is barren, and Peninnah is born children. And because children was so important in a woman's life, Hannah became the object of ridicule by her husband's other wife. They would go year after year to his hometown to worship and to offer sacrifices. And every time she would get this ribbon, she would get this horrendous put down. And it would cause her to weep bitterly and refuse to eat. And her husband, not understanding, would say to her, "Don't you know that you're worth more to me than 10 sons?" It didn't make any difference to her. So she ends up going and she ends up praying, and she's weeping bitterly, and her voice is not even audible to Eli, who is standing there as he normally does during his time of service. He thinks she's drunk, and she tells him, "No, I'm not drunk. I am just in great anguish and grief." That's in verse 16 of chapter 1. Then in verse 17, Eli gives her his blessing. He says, "May God of Israel grant you what you've requested of him." So she's now encouraged, and her face is no longer downcast. And she goes back, and in verse 18, she says, "May your servant find favor in your eyes." Then the next morning, they all go and worship, and they go home. Well, the next year, Samuel is born. Here's the thing. Not Samuel. Hannah knew that God was able. If God wanted to open her womb, she would conceive and bear a child. But if you notice in chapter 1, she is telling God, "I will give this child to you. All of his life will be dedicated in service to you." She becomes pregnant. And then the following year, they are headed back to her husband's hometown to worship and offer sacrifices. The purpose of her heart is what we find in chapter 1. Now we're going to find out in chapter 2 that she's taking physical action, but she took action in her heart first. And she professed with her mouth what she believed that God could do. So our questions are pretty simple today. What is the purpose in my heart? Do I confess in prayer my heart's desire to God? Am I willing to take action to honor God? Well, what is the Holy Spirit saying to me right now for today? Am I going to choose the way of Jesus that leads to a full life, or am I choosing my own way? Now, I'm praying for us as we carefully consider 1 Samuel chapter 1 again, and the questions that I've been prompted to ask. Let's invite the Holy Spirit to give us eyes to see and ears to hear God's truth from His Word. Let's have receptive hearts and minds to receive these truths, and then let's ask the Father for the same boldness, commitment, and courage of Jesus to go out today and do what the Holy Spirit is leading us to do. I pray you'll have a wonderful day, my friends. Go in the peace of God. Blessings to you. Bye for now.